are you?
I am well enough, John. How, pray tell, are you?
Not bad, all things considered.
Good.
Yeah.
I am glad. I have been dancing to Ludoslavsky.
There we
Not saying it's an appropriate use of my time, but it is what I've been doing.
go.
That sounds fun.
You know. It's a thing I've been doing.
That thing, it happened.
You know. Dancing, Ludoslavsky, me, whatever. It's a thing. I cannot tell you how much I've been enjoying. Are those are both of yours I'm taking from your comment, Winona? I didn't mean to credit one of you when I should have credited both of you. You were just the one posting it. There are some great ones in there. This world is going to be a lot of fun.
Definitely. It's been fun working on those and just coming up with cock and storyline.
It's great.
Like every time we write one person, we go, "Oh, we just introduced another character."
Good. That's the way it should be, right? Start seeing how it all develops over time.
Yeah, those characters are great. And all interconnected and stuff. It's awesome.
You are the. Manatee Man and the Walrus are a couple.
Oh.
Ooh.
And Manatee Man's real name is Hugh Hannity, and he sells speedboats.
Of course.
Good to know. Oh man, I love it.
Hey Matt, I had a question about this game.
Okay, I have an answer about this game.
Oh, good. Backgrounds? I think I spaced out on this. Were we supposed to take a background for our characters?
Yes,
Okay.
sort of.
Okay.
You were supposed to take a background, and it was supposed to open up options on skills, but not grant you skills. It didn't give you additional skill points.
Okay.
So it grants you an option and like background options. Like backgrounds frequently have like a special ability associated with them that is. Greetings, everyone. Hope you are all doing okay and holding up as well as can be expected in our current moments of national stress, national Sturm und Drang. Please do what you can to take care of each other. Please do what you can to support other people in the world right now as best you can, particularly people who have been systemically disadvantaged and underprivileged throughout time, be that LGBTQIA people, particularly trans people, being that, of course, people of color as well. Don't forget that this land that we are on right now, if you are in the United States, is land that was stolen from Native Americans, as well as built on the backs of slaves, and that all of us are living in a society where we deeply benefit from that and have forever, and are still benefiting from it in many ways. So please do what you can to support people who have been struggling, both historically and currently as well. With that said, we're going to play some Dungeons and Dragons. This will be a little bit of escapism from those things. We're going to go from dealing with real world political conflicts to dealing with fantasy religious conflicts. And that's the nature of the beast. So, checking with my players, we haven't played for a couple weeks because last week was my vacation, and this is our first game back. Hey, let's see, where were we, guys? Who wants to say a little bit about where we were, where you were, where your character was, emotionally, what they're feeling right now? Yeah, anyone want to put that forth for the group? Step forward and volunteer as a speaker.
Sure.
Go for it.
Typical Caliban.
Yeah. We just we being everyone except for Timothy took a ride in an airship at blinding speeds, and did a little reconnaissance with a couple religious and scientific figures in the Kva, and landed and requested some items from the scientific leader and some assistance. And Caliban is just completely tunnel visioning the task at hand, and is trying to not sit too long and think about the repercussions of anything that he might be doing and or anything in his past.
Beautiful. Anyone else want to give us an update on where their character's at, how they're feeling, and their own sort of take on the situation, things important that occurred?
Nova went on a little adventure running after a mysterious figure who handed something to someone, and found her way into a underground kind of like some kind of weird trading thing with different boxes filled with stuff with weird names. And she took one of them and also met someone who seems like they're from a different plane or a different world or something.
Mm-hmm.
So all kinds of questions.
All kinds of questions. Excellent. Beautiful. I'm just going to keep this going and do everyone. Nika, how's Celexa doing?
I think Celexa is she's kind of starting to feel the excitement of like being back in what's kind of like her home turf in a little ways, like the feeling all of the sort of sense of intrigue and the drama that comes with like the like different like the counselors and the people who are all kind of obviously like vying for power. It feels very, even though she's, you know, whatever, thousands of miles from home and doesn't speak the language, she still feels in a weird way kind of at home. And so she's feeling a little bit excited about that. And I think also she is pretty excited about the little airship they just traveled on, and probably she and the captain might have been chatting about like what they can do to make use of that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Beautiful. And Ami playing Thea.
So I think Thea is starting to realize in the Kava, nothing is really going to be handed to us in terms of information. So everything has to be kind of maybe sneakily obtained, whether it was like translating directly into the mind of that old, I forgot what her name was that we talked to, or I don't know. Somehow she knows she's gonna have to be in the shadows to get what we need to get.
Beautiful. I love it. And then last but not least, John playing Timothy.
I against all common knowledge of D&D campaigns, split up myself from the rest of the group, and also managed to throw my handler, and was taken to at knife point to Taj El Aziz. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And I had a very interesting conversation. I think Timothy is still processing that, but I remember that he encouraged me to tackle this problem in the way that is most comfortable to me. So, like in a scientific way. So, I think I'm going to have a lot of work to do.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Yeah, and just as a follow up with that, I myself, am a big fan of splitting the party. That just happens sometimes, and that's just going to be a nature of the beast sometimes. So get used to that. Everyone, participants and viewers, it happens a lot. In All Might, even in my dungeon crawl campaign, they've split the party a lot of times. So don't panic when it happens. It's a good thing. Gives you a chance to have slightly different group dynamics in a good way. Sometimes it's fun if the orchestra turns into a string quartet. Okay, I think that we are going to start in the evening, and assuming that you all have come back from your various escapades together, this is going to be the evening of the night before the moon viewing party with the 2 moons and your official welcome into the society. So that'll be tomorrow, officially. But you've got the evening and the day tomorrow to plan and make things happen and figure stuff out and make what you want to have happen. So there you all are, gathered in one of these elegant, very curved rooms. There's a sitting room there for you that they've sort of established. There's desks and chairs. Paper has been brought if you need paper, and there are people just inside the door, standing there as guards, so much as servants who are there to cater to you, get what you need, bring you snacks if you request, or really whatever you might think to ask for them. You might consider asking them for them and see if they'll get it for you. That might be an interesting way to test your limits. Timothy returns. Timothy, no one scolds you for ditching your handler. No one really gives you a hard time, but they do seem to redouble their efforts to keep an eye on you. There are now, where there was a handler before, your handler has been replaced, and now there are 2 handlers. Quite literally, just there are 2 people who are with you at all times, and that is now part of the deal. So this room is very open, and again, it's got the trickling water coming down one of the walls, just like this constant burbling in the background as everything goes. There's a window, or like rather a hole for a window, but it's actually just a hole looking out into the city. It's very clearly like a very idyllic and designed sitting room. And there's space to spread out for all of you and what servants and assistants you wish to have with you as well. And everything is very elegantly designed. They have coasters for cups, which is an unusual thing. That's not exactly the most common thing among certainly middle and lower classes, but the upper classes want to protect their furniture. And so they do this here. They have coasters for their cups, and that's just something that you all notice. Okay. There you guys are. I don't know. I'm going to shut up for a minute. Stop talking. Unless there's questions.
Did you? Sorry, just to clarify, they completely got rid of my old handler and replaced them with 2 new ones.
Well, there are now 2 handlers on you, and neither of them is your old handler. Everyone else has their old handler on them.
I'd like to ask them a question. Hey, where did my old helper go?
He has been reassigned.
Reassigned to where or whom?
I did not think to ask. I just took this job when I was told.
I see. Great. And what are your names, both of you?
My name is unimportant.
I see. Okay. Well, it's a pleasure to meet both of you. Did the other helper bring the giant fish back that I caught? Just out of curiosity.
Yes, it is our understanding that it is to be prepared for dinner.
Wonderful. Great. Thank you.
They bow.
Hey, my name doesn't matter all that much. You there. Can I have a refill?
Yes, of course.
Thank you.
Comes over and takes your drink and
Timothy, where'd you go? We missed you.
Well, I had a little bit of an adventure. Of course, I wanted to hit the ground running and get some fishing in before the day was too old, and then I went on a little walk into the wilderness and happened to get pointed in the direction of Taj el-Aziz, of all people.
The prophet guy?
The prophet guy, who has an interesting family connection to someone we met earlier in the woods.
We'll have to hear about that later, maybe.
I think so. How about you guys? You guys look a little windblown.
We went on a boat ride.
Oh, how was that?
It was windy.
Seems like it.
We met Nuja, yeah. Head of the Futurists. She was really interesting. She showed us some diagrams and maps that we could also talk about a little bit later.
You said there was we have a room where we can discuss things quietly.
That's on my list of 2 things that I want to do today before I go to bed. Is to figure out where that room is.
Sounds good. And look at all the serpents. That would be great, actually. Also, while I have you here, I was thinking we could take a trip back to the room with the bodies.
That was my number 2.
Okay.
It's like
this.
You're reading my mind.
My goodness.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Isn't that Thea's job?
Alvin and Timothy. Bees in a pod.
Question for you, Matt.
Of course.
Okay, so the airship is there there's like a pad on top of the building we're in? Is that it's like literally on top? Okay, yes. And so there's do we access the roof from inside, or do we have to go outside to get to it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, inside there is one of the pads that you guys have stepped on before. That's essentially an elevator without a platform that will take you up to a door on the interior of the roof. It's not visible from any of the exterior sides. They sort of have like they have an obsession with like sort of order and cleanliness, so they don't like doors and things like that being visible from the outside, so they tend to have open spaces where there could be doors. But then inside, they like understand the practicality of doors. So no one could see that there is a door from anywhere around or landing on the pad, and then there's a door into the interior hole which drops to the main floor of this building.
That makes sense. And then the person who was our handler on that excursion, were they somebody who's staying with us here in our house as well?
Yes. You were guided by one of your handlers. I think actually, Celexa, it was Caliban's handler that was leading you guys around.
Okay, so
I'd have to double check, but yes.
Yeah, because it was Nova's, I think, because Nova wanted to go out.
You're right. I apologize, but it did not matter enough to be, because the handlers are, as of yet, not fully defined as individual characters. So,
do the handlers have sleeping quarters in this building as well?
Yes.
Okay. In individual quarters for each of them, or like do they all?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, it's 2 to a room, one for your daytime handler and one for your nighttime handler.
They share that room.
Yes.
I see.
And they are close to your guys' room. To each individually of your guys' rooms. So if you are on one side of a hallway, they would be on the, like, if you're on the outside of the hallway with the beautiful view and all that stuff, then they're across the hall on the interior is their room, directly next to you, so that they can be called and summoned and brought to get you food all the time.
All right. Well, we might have another conversation to have a little later.
Great. More conversations. Thank you.
Yes, bring your drink back. Thank you.
I was going to say, Nova, I wonder if there's anything that you would need your handlers to help you with. We can talk about it more later, but...
Yeah.
Great. I'm going to finish this drink, and then I would like to go see our good friend, the woman who we met at the beginning, Arwa.
Arwa.
I would like to go see our good friend Arwa.
Okay.
Just for a quick visit.
Okay. Yeah. So you finish your drink, and then you want to go visit with Arwa. Are you taking people with you? Or are you all going together?
Anyone who would like to come with me would be.
Seems to know
fine.
Plot's that direction, so I think probably everyone will head that direction unless people want to diverge the plot, in which case that's fine too. Great, awesome. Then you go. Do you request that Arwa be brought to you, or do you want to go to her?
I'd like to go to her.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, so your handlers bow and escort you to Arwa's. Let's see, it is early evening, so Arwa would be home. So they escort you to Arwa's home.
Okay, great.
Which is quite pleasant. It is substantially smaller than where you guys are, but it's for one person, not for visiting dignitaries. And but it's quite lovely. Again, all these curved sources and flowing water, and all these beautiful, elegant things. And she opens the door to you guys and says, "Oh, I would have happily come to you, but you do me honor to grace the presence of my house. Please come in."
My pleasure. This was sort of on the way. I guess we step inside. I wanted to just say hello. Say thank you for all these accommodations. It's really been quite lovely. It's been really great. And I also wanted to perhaps discuss what we talked about yesterday regarding a more private space.
Yes, of course. That can easily be arranged to and seen to. I've actually already taken the liberty of arranging a couple different possible places for you to meet privately. Wherever you'd like to is fine. But I've arranged for them to exist as you see fit.
Great. Where can I find one?
Yes, of course. Well, the easiest access one from your perspective is directly underneath the building that you guys are staying in. We have an
Brilliant.
underground bunker sort of thing that is locked off. It's made of a material that I'm pretty sure you're familiar with. It's called soulwood. Have you heard of soulwood before?
Has any of us heard of Soulwood before?
Well, it's a rarish material that grows sort of magically influenced in Sunera. It's quite rare, but and very expensive, but very useful. It serves as a deadening tool for many types of magic, particularly divination and scrying magics. So it makes you, if you are inside a closed circuit of it, or even just around a large amount of it, it will block people's vision of you. There's even a famous bar in Chalestra. Actually, I think I heard that it had just burned down in an attack. I hope everything's okay. But there's a famous bar in Chalestra called the Soulwood Tavern that has a bar made out of it that is popular with politicians there. They go there and make deals and things like that.
I've actually been there. Yeah, I should find out if it burned down. I'll send that in a letter, maybe. Cool, thank you. Really quick question. Do you have any vials or like empty containers that I could borrow, take? Or would
yes,
do
of
you know
course.
where I might get some?
Empty or filled with something?
Empty would be preferable.
Sure. And she just like reaches down into her own robes and starts pulling out vial after vial after vial. How many do you need?
I'll take 10.
Yeah, hold on. And she turns and she like walks away and then goes to like there's a roll top desk, a desk that rolls up, and she rolls it up, and underneath it is like this extensive set of alchemist's tools. And she just pulls open like a drawer inside of it and pulls out a case and then like walks over and hands it to you. And it's a case of 20 of these, and she says, "You can take these, and hopefully that will help. If you need more, please don't hesitate to ask. And anything that you need, your attendants should get for you. They have explicit instructions to do that, of course."
Right. It just occurred to me while we were talking. I'm
yes, of course. And she
you with that.
turns to go and close the roll top desk. Can I ask what everyone's passive perception is?
You may. It is 16.
14.
Anyone beat a 16? 16 is very high. Okay, Caliban. She seems to be rushing to close the roll top desk. Like she feels like she shouldn't have left it open. And as she is doing so, you see that one of the vials is filled with a something dark and red.
Cool. So she closes it up. And I say, since you have all these supplies, have you or anyone affiliated with the council that might have like experience with alchemy and or magic be studying samples from the bodies downstairs?
Yes, absolutely. But as you can see, the situation is a little difficult because we don't know who we can trust.
Right,
So
of course.
even if someone tells us, "Oh, these samples do this," you kind of all need to do it yourself. And so there's been like this distrust is sort of bled into the scientific community as well. So we don't all, it leads to confusion. But and I myself am loath to tell you my results because I don't want to bias you in favor of certain things that
Sure.
my results confirm.
Well, how's this then? Do you know a spell called Zone of Truth?
I am familiar with the spell.
Okay. If I cast that now, here, servants can stay. And you relented, and you just let me cast it. And I asked you a couple questions. Just you and me, and the servants here. I can make sure that they're all kosher, and that you're kosher. And then I can find out if what you know without bias.
Yeah, she looks hesitant. Roll a persuasion check.
Sorry. Big money, please. This is important. Yes, thank you. 22.
Okay, so she looks hesitant. She bites her lip and exhales. And the 5 of you will stay, yes?
I guess so.
And I need to tell you that there are questions that you may ask that I may not answer.
Oh, yeah.
That doesn't mean I'm necessarily lying, though. I just...
There's only one question that I need you to answer. In fact,
we'll cast
you
the
need
spell.
to answer it. Okay. Boop. Zone of truth. And I'll just use myself as the center, and it'll hit everybody.
Okay. Just for the fun of doing it, can I have everyone roll their saving throw? What's the DC?
My spell save DC is 14.
Beautiful.
And it's a wisdom.
It's wisdom.
Save,
Sorry. Yeah, wisdom saving throw, DC 14. Just for the sake of it, not being able to lie makes a difference in a space like this because you might want to manipulate her into answering questions and things like that. Okay. If you get above a 14, which 3 of you did, then you are capable of lying. If you are Nova,
is incapable.
Not
That's
capable of
Nova's
lying.
thing, yeah.
But she couldn't.
And are the servants in here with us?
Just not good
Are the
at it.
servants in here with us?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Let's roll for them as well. Just for
Okay. I would respectfully request that both of them fail automatically.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. We'll see what happens. Are you aware of who fails?
Yeah.
Okay. One of them succeeds. The other one willingly fails.
Huh. Okay. I turn to the one that succeeded, and I say, if you don't mind, I would request that you leave.
Bows and walks out the door.
Thank you. Ooh, I should have asked. It's too late. Oh well. And I ask both the servant and our respected Arwa, are you Aasimar, or are you a creature living inside of an Aasimar?
I want to pull up the full text of Zone of Truth. Pardon me for 1 second. I just want to make sure that I'm doing everything.
Until the spell ends, a creature that enters the spell area for the first time on a turn, charisma save, not wisdom save.
Oops. So we did do it wrong.
We did.
That's okay though. She's willing and failing, so I'm not too worried about that.
Such a creature can be evasive in its answers as long as it remains within the boundaries of the group.
Okay. I am an Aasimar.
Okay. And you, servant?
I am an Aasimar.
Great. Is there? I turn to the rest of us. Should I can phrase that differently too. Like, I don't know if that covers all bases.
Ask if there. I don't know if you have to be the one to ask, but let's ask if there are moments in time or memory lapses that they cannot account for.
I don't need to be the one to ask.
Okay, I asked that. Are there moments of
no more than reason, when you are reading a book and you look up and time has flown by.
Okay, but you've never woken up and asked yourself how you got there, or
No, nothing of the sort.
Found blood on your hands, or
nothing of the sort.
Anything you would all like to ask? They can't lie.
Well, just to phrase your first question a different way.
Yeah, please.
Are you infected?
I am not. Nor am I.
Do you suspect anyone of being infected?
Yes. I suspect many people of being infected. I worry it could be as much as 30% of the population.
Anyone close to you that you can give us a name of?
She pauses for a second and then says, it is my wish not to bias your investigation towards or against anyone. And I would prefer that the conclusions that you came to were not mine. If you press, though, I will answer.
Yes.
We're pressing.
I believe that okay. I believe that Nuja is infected.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that Nasifa is infected. Mm-hmm. I believe that Shahama is infected. I believe that Bashir is infected. These are just people that you've met or will be meeting tomorrow. And to be honest,
real quick.
I even have suspicions that Numa, for all her wisdom, may be infected as well.
That is striking news.
Why do you think that they're infected?
Mild behavioral changes, things that people might think of as insignificant, but changes in belief, changes in policy, pushes towards more extreme views. Nuja has always been in line with the futurist sort of ideals, but the futurists weren't really a organization at all until recently, and Nuja sort of built them. It's not that she's wrong to do so, it's just that it is a lot of change in a very short amount of time. And that sort of little cues like that is what I have. It would be dishonorable for me to test them. And I'm not entirely certain that my test works.
What is your test?
I have found evidence that, forgive me, your people are so incredibly uninformed that this may make no sense to you. Inside our bodies, there are other things that are alive, little tiny organisms that exist through all of us. In the bodies of the infected that we found, I found different little tiny organisms that were alive. But I don't know if that happened post-mortem or when they were alive. So I know that after one of these things is dead, they attract different organisms, but I can't guarantee that that happens when they're alive.
How do you test for the organisms?
Through alchemy.
If we brought someone to you who was willing to subject themselves to the test, would you be able to perform it on a living person?
Yes, easily.
Is that something that we could do on our own using
Yes. And it would be better if it was you that did it to me, because if I do it, it would be an affront to their honor.
No, we need to. Anything that we bring to the council needs to be done without your help. I agree.
This is why you were brought in, and why you were chosen.
Can you describe how we would test them using the alchemy?
Yes, and she tells you the process that she has developed. Is anyone here trained in alchemy or alchemy's tools or poisons or poisoner's tools or anything of those sorts?
Ami, are you?
I have a poisoner's kit.
Perfect. That's you being trained in these tools.
Oh, and I have an alchemist kit.
Even better. Yeah, you've got both these things.
Yeah.
So, a lot of what Arwa says goes a little bit over some of your heads. It's a little bit too technical jargon-y. But Thea, you pick up everything that is being said, and you can now test for the presence of these things with a sizable blood sample. It's still a check. It's a roll. It's not a guarantee to know, because you can mess it up. It's a difficult check. It's a DC 16 alchemist tools check with So it's an alchemist tools check, DC 16, to determine the presence of these things, but with someone's blood. And again, like, she's very clear that she doesn't know that this is true in living people. So,
do you have ideas on how this spreads?
Yeah.
What are some of your top hypotheses?
I cannot answer.
Okay. Also, might there be a charter or list of rulings and like written opinions of all of the leaders? Like, do you guys come together for meetings, and would there be a record of meetings so that we could potentially track differences in opinions over time?
The Kari, our ruling council, does maintain written records. I cannot see a way to allow you to see both enough of them to be helpful and not break our oath. But I can try to have some people work on it, though again, it is speculation on my part.
Okay.
We were sent, by you all, obviously, but also by a figure back in Terravest named Rowan Starbread. Do you know this man?
I know of him. I have not met him. The Oathkeeper.
He told us that there was one person here that specifically requested us. Do you know who that might be?
As far as I know, he is quite wrong. There were committees and decisions and groups that came to the conclusion
I'm
that you.
This letter wrong.
5. No, you are not.
Oh.
You are not misremembering the letter. Sorry, that was DM input there. There were committees and groups that met and agreed and concurred and discussed possible candidates and found the chosen.
Okay.
Did someone have the idea first? Like, who brought it up the first time?
No, I think it's
The first
okay.
person to bring it up was he is in exile now. He had a name, but now that he is in exile, he has it no longer. He was called Masozi.
Right.
And he is quite a violent man. He killed many people.
Caliban is looking a little perturbed. Right. Okay. Thank you. Does anyone else have anything they need to ask?
Who is Licky?
Matthew refers to his notes.
From Regulus.
From where?
From Regulus.
Oh, thank you. A traveler that you should not have met.
Who is he, though?
Just that. A traveler. I haven't met the man.
What is Regulus?
I cannot answer.
Well, thank you.
Can we ask the servant person?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, of course.
So Thea turns to the servant. Just can't help it. She asks, "What's your name?"
I have given up my name and have none.
Okay. Is there anybody you find suspicious of being infected?
Holy One, no. That is beyond the scope of my position.
Have there been any behavioral changes of people around you that you've noticed?
Holy One, perhaps, but change is inevitable.
One more question. Where do the people live who don't live up here? Like, where are the poor people? The not important.
Yeah, Arwa turns to you and says, we have no poverty. All here are taken care of. We don't have currency, and we don't have poverty. But there are people who live outside civilization, people who prefer their life further away, people whose path led them to another place. People who live in the hills, people who live in the forests. We have another city. It's a smaller one.
What is that called?
Oh, good question. Matthew quickly finds it.
Archlight?
Where is it? Yes, thank you. That's it. Arclight.
Arclight.
Yeah.
Who was the first person that was infected or that you found to be infected?
It was a citizen who was killed in a dispute. They were a border guard and an army, a small army of mercenaries came from Abarak and attempted to get through our shield, and were unwilling to be politely persuaded to leave, and that they attacked. We fended them off, but one of the people defending was seriously injured and died. And as he died, we saw what had happened inside his skull.
And forgive me, I don't know that we witnessed this when we were in the room earlier. But is there a progression? Does it do you know that if it takes over the brain slowly or increasingly over time?
I believe it is all at once.
Okay.
You are either infected or you are not.
Okay, thank you.
Well, thank you so much. Is there once we get back, if we want to access the space underneath the place where we're staying, is there anyone we need to talk to? Do we just go there and tell the servants to keep out?
You go there, you'll see that there are instructions inside, but in essence, the way it is that you can set up a passphrase or passcode or whatever you see fit, and then no one without that passphrase or passcode will be able to access it without. I'm not going to, obviously divination magic will not work through there, but there is other types of things that might, if someone blew up the door, obviously they could break in or dispel magic at a high enough order of magic would certainly help get through. But the soulwood is remarkably effective at muting certain magical effects.
Incredible. Thank you. Unless there's anything else anyone needs, thank you so much, Arwa.
I'm going to ask one more question. If we request of our servants to help find us specific scrolls and potions, is there a chance they would be able to do that for us?
Absolutely.
To assist our investigation?
Absolutely, 100 within reason.
So no scroll of gate.
Of course, yes. Always within reason.
Yes, but they know that higher order spells are they won't have access to. They'll need to seek permission from proper authorities.
Oh, surely. Oh, I wouldn't dream of asking for anything, unreasonable.
Yes. But that being said, we will do, even if you needed something higher level, we would be willing to provide it.
Okay, good to know. We will take that under advisement. I think maybe we have a few conversations to have. Are you folks ready to head back and do that, or did you want to make another stop first?
I would love to pick up some blood.
Some what?
Some blood. And or brain matter.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I have another ask.
Go for it.
Would she be willing to submit to her own test?
Yes.
Okay. Is that something we could do before we leave?
Do you need a sample of my blood?
And test it out, and
I don't have one.
And she goes over to the roll top desk and rolls it up and grabs a vial and walks back and offers it just sort of to the group in general.
This is
with something red. Yes, drawn this morning. She holds up her arm and you can see a scar.
Why?
Daily ritual?
Sample set, perhaps, to trying to test what clean blood looks like, maybe?
Why did she take blood this morning?
I cannot say.
But it's your blood for sure?
Yes.
Okay.
Thea, could you do the honors?
I would love to.
And I'll guide you.
Thank you.
Cool. So let's go over how we're going to do this, because I meant to figure this out and did, and then had notes on it. I just want to make sure that I have those notes correct. Cool. Yeah. So this is going to be a Alchemist Tools check. And when you click on Alchemist Tools, if you click on the gear next to it, it should open up a thing that allows you to change what stat you're using for it.
Yeah.
And you should not use Strength. Instead, I will allow you to use either Intelligence or Wisdom. Your call.
Okay.
Thank God for Thea. Oh my God.
I'll do intelligence.
Makes sense.
Okay. Here we go.
Nice. Yeah. So what you have proven here definitively is that if Arwa's test works and it works on living people, then she is not infected.
Doesn't look infected.
On a kind of morbid curiosity line, I feel like we should all test ourselves also.
Yep, I was going to suggest the same thing. Ostensibly, we'll know what clean blood looks like if we all test ourselves. Or we won't.
Do we want to do this now or later?
No time like the present.
All right.
Excellent. Beautiful. Yeah, and I'll let that 22 ride. I don't think there's any drama here. All of you are clean. No one is infected. I will flat out say that while I was toying with the idea of having one of you be a traitor to the group, I didn't actually do it. Although I was toying with the idea because I thought it would be great. But
we're not traitors yet.
Yes, exactly. More to the point. Yeah, does anyone resist having their blood drawn? I should ask. No, that was all cool. Awesome. Yeah, no, you're all clean. All you guys, as of right now, are the good guys, or at least the healthy guys. Okay. And again, this is assuming that her test works.
Right.
Which, according to Thea, it seems like it would, based on what you've heard.
Yeah, and she did say in Zone of Truth she believes it works.
Yes.
So there's that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the way Zone of Truth works. Just for clarity, everything she said, she believes to be true.
Yes.
Just as a point of clarity, like she did say, I cannot tell you. She believes that she cannot tell you when she told you that. It doesn't mean that she physically cannot. It means that for some reason she believes that she cannot tell you when she answered that question. It's not, I will not, I cannot. So, stronger statement. Okay, cool. Back to it. So you guys want to head down and pick up some grossish materials from the bodies of the deceased?
I would love that.
Great.
Thea, do you want to hold on to a lot of it?
Yeah, I'll take it.
Since you're the only one who will be able to do anything with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sciencey stuff.
Thank you.
Excellent. Yeah. Cool. So Thea, you collect a whole bunch of brain matter, blood, all that sort of stuff, as best you can, from some dead bodies, and then you guys head to your Soulwood bunker. Oh, Timothy.
Wait, were we given dossiers or files on each of the deceased?
You were. I didn't make them.
Okay, but we have access to that in game. Great.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Great. So we grab the stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cool. So you grab the stuff. You have the dossiers, and you head to your Soulwood bunker. Again, so the way this works is the door opens, and inside there's basically research stations for you guys where you can put your stuff, collect your stuff, organize stuff. There's walls. There's things for you to write on. They've invented the equivalent of a whiteboard. So you have access to basically a whiteboard for taking notes on and things like that. But the first thing that you see is that inside on the table there is a piece of paper. And on it is instructions for how to create a magical passphrase for that only the 5 of you will have access to. So they seem very serious about this. You should have a place that's yours to work, which is a little weird considering that they're literally spying on you as you sleep. But they are taking you serious. They are taking that seriously. It seems like on some level. So it'll be one magical passphrase that the 5 of you memorize, and it's a pretty sophisticated thing. So if you want to have like some sort of rotating passphrase or whatever, like you guys can do what you want. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Has our servant have we locked our servant out of this room?
Yes.
Great. What do you want the password? What do you want the password to be, everybody? Or passphrase.
What was the thing we got attacked with on the big flying ship?
Astrovarg?
Astrovarg?
Yeah, that sounds great.
How about Pastrovarg?
Pastrovarg, like a password and Astrovarg. Great.
Like it.
Yeah, I'm writing that down.
It needs to have one capital and one symbol, though. Also.
The A is an at sign.
That you say, Pastrovarg.
Pastrovat arg. At erg.
So I found this thing. Nova pulls out the box of starlight that she found. I found this thing and I don't know what it is, but I think it's important.
What is it? Can you open it up?
I think it's called a box of starlight.
Have you opened it?
A little. I looked inside a little bit, but I don't know. I'm somehow worried this is some kind of drug. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Should I just open it all the way and see what happens?
Yeah, we're in a room. It's not going to go flying anywhere.
Okay. Nova opens it. Okay, that's all open.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's like this very thin layer inside the box. It's right at the crick of the box. So when you open it, it's exactly this size. And it seems to glitter and shine, but it also sort of has like an appearance of almost liquid. Sort of metallic thing that looks so smooth that it appears to almost be liquid. And as you turn it in the light, it seems to glitter and sparkle a little bit.
Anyone have any idea what this is? Great.
Never seen anything like it in my life.
There was this really suspicious looking transaction that happened where this guy gave this other guy this box. And I don't know, he looked like he was on drugs or something, so I figured it was drugs.
Was it this box?
It was, I think, this box. It opened, well, it wasn't this specific box, but I followed him back to like a weird underground market kind of thing. I mean, as much as anything's like a market here. And he had like a little trap door thing, which he went into. So it could have been something different, but it opened up and shone like bright lights, like it was the same.
Could you find your way back there, do you think?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll do something sciencey here. And I'd like to take a big whiff of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you take a big whiff of it. Yeah, sure. Roll a perception check.
All right. Oh, that's a nice 7.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. I love a good 7. Yeah, so you take a big whiff of it and immediately sneeze. You are allergic to it.
Too big.
Oh no! Oh, that was the worst possible outcome.
Well, the worst? That was the. I mean, it could have been worse.
I mean, a lot worse. Yes.
I'd like to stare at it intently and see if it does anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you just want to stare at it. Yeah. So you're at it and sort of focusing your like eyes on it, and you're seeing into it a little bit. Yeah, roll a perception check.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you
Yeah.
get?
So, 20.
Oh,
so you start
nice.
focusing on it, like looking into it intently and staring at it. And I think like you stare at one of the sparkles, and you realize that all of the sparkles are actually like they sort of glitter as you shift it and like and move it in the light, but they also like pulse on their own. So if like it's totally still, it still gives the illusion of glittering a little bit here, even if there's no motion between you and it. They actually pulse on their own, and they seem to pulse at regular intervals, but not all together. They all each have their own cycle. So this one pulses over a 7-second cycle. This one pulses over a 40-second cycle, right? So they're all sort of pulsing and glittering in their own form. And as you stare at it, sometimes like it pulses at your eyes, and you have to like blink to clear your eyes a little bit because it's so bright.
I feel like I should touch it. I touch it.
Yeah. So as you apply pressure, your finger almost goes into it. It feels like it's definitely solid on some level, but it feels a little bit like rosin. Like you push into it and like it gives way a little bit, or or like tree sap or something, and it gives way a little bit, and you pull out, and you can see your fingerprint in there, and your finger just sort of like feels cold where it touched it.
Yep, this is weird. I have no idea what to do with this.
Can I do alchemy on it?
Sure. What are you trying to do alchemy to get at here?
Maybe just to see if it's digestible, if it's not poisonous or something.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So why don't you roll a alchemy check? This would be with wisdom.
With wisdom.
Mhm.
So I should change it.
Yep. It's the problem and benefit of tools is they change their skills sometimes. So you have a +2 in both, so you're fine. Yeah, this is definitely not digestible. This is not food. Or if it's food for something that's not humanoid.
Well, this is very interesting. I'm glad you picked it up. It might come in handy.
They had other stuff. I don't know.
That's what I was going to ask. Where this wasn't the only thing there.
No, it was just like I don't know, dozens, hundreds of boxes, and they all had different names, and I don't know.
Nova, I feel like maybe you can take me and Fee back there, so we can go and check it out. Like, I feel like she and I could blend in pretty well, and see if we can get somebody to show us, or even what's her name?
Stephanie?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, she was able to read me some of the names, but I can't remember what they were. They all sounded weird though, and I will tell you one thing: they don't like it when you do fire stuff in crowds. They don't like that.
Weird.
Maybe keeping a low profile would be the way to go if we go back, huh?
Yeah, I think so.
I really want to get that key for the airship, right? And Nova, I'm hoping that maybe it's your like handler person put it in their room, right? So what I'm thinking is that if we can engage both of the handlers and get them out of that room, then maybe Thee can go in and find it.
I think we could probably figure that out.
So my idea was you can go ask one of your handlers to help you with something, and then I can go and pretend to be you and ask your other handler to do something as well.
I think we could probably just send one of them on an errand, and then I could knock on the door of the other one.
That's fine too. Well, they share the room, which is why we need to both go get them out, right? But however we do it, I feel like we should maybe try to do that tonight.
Yeah. Is there anything that we want? Like,
well, I was gonna ask for some things to help us, some like poles, scrolls and potions. So yeah, maybe that. But
I wonder if they would let us get an invisibility potion.
Oh, I've got one of those.
Oh, okay.
I love it.
I wonder how many invisibility potions they would let us have.
Well, I had some other ideas for helpful potions. One would be clairvoyance, and another would be gaseous form, both of which could help us to get into places. And then Caliban, I thought maybe we could, one of the scrolls we could ask for would be something like Speak with Dead.
Yeah,
could be,
sounds good to me.
Could be helpful.
Although we can't speak with anyone whose brain has been smashed open.
It's true. That's true.
Unfortunately.
But, yeah. Wait, is that true? Just out of curiosity.
The dead body, I believe, speaks. Let me just make sure.
The corpse must
keep
still
talking.
have a mouth.
Just look now.
It must still have a mouth and not be undead.
So we might not know if that will work until we try it.
Sure.
Because we don't know.
No harm in getting one. Cool. Yeah.
So do you think, Nova, should we be asking your people to get these things for us?
Yeah, maybe we could ask them, and then they might have the other one come out and watch me, because apparently I'm a flight risk.
You and me both.
Yeah, we could just like head in opposite directions, and like everyone just goes off and is a distraction.
We could actually start asking, like, for these things, like one or two at a time from a bunch of the different handlers, and see how many of them we can get out, like to go out and find them.
Sounds good.
This is a great plan. I love this. I'm excited to be a part of this plan. Excellent. Well, I think we will enact that plan, or potentially other plans, when we get back from our break in 10 minutes.
Great. Sounds good.
Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for watching and enjoying this wonderful and fun little RPG show that we are playing right now. If you enjoy our content, please follow and/or subscribe. We've got other shows at other times, and you should come check some of them out. This channel is on Sundays and Mondays and Thursdays, and soon Fridays again, with a new show that'll be announced soon and released soon, and we'll figure out the details of that when we figure out the details of that. But soon, Friday again. So Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and soon Friday. And that is the dealio. So please like, follow, subscribe, all sorts of good stuff. You can see our schedule down below. Also, again, if you can, donate a few extra coins. If you have a little bit of extra money and want to toss a gold piece towards a helpful and powerful cause, please, please, please do so. Not all of us can be protesting on the front lines, though some of us have been, and not all of us can enact direct policy change, but and not all of us have the money to donate, obviously. But anything that you can do to help people in these tumultuous times, I think is worth doing. So please do what you can. Okay, back to it. So we've got a couple plans. Oop, cat stream. Yay. Always good. There we go. I have a cat emoji, don't I? Yes, cat stream. Meow. Okay. So it looks like we've got two groups that are going to break apart and do a couple different things. I sort of know what one of those groups is doing. That would be Celexa, Thea, and Nova are going to try to distract as many people as possible so that Thea can sneak in and steal the keys to the airship, and possibly other things, although we'll find out that when that happens. That's group All-Stars. And then Caliban and Timothy, aka Group 2. Sorry, I'm just stealing humor at this point. I don't even know where anything is. What is the meaning of life anyway? Are going to be doing something else. So, and are your guys' intentions and/or plans? Let's split this group actually in two and do two different missions simultaneously. Caliban and Timothy, tell me what your plan. What do you want to do? What are your goals?
If now is a research time, then I guess I'm just going to hit the books hard and start making my murder board, as it were.
Your murder board?
Yeah, you know the classic like serial killer board where just everything is connected with pieces of yarn and.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know where it is, but I picked up there's a gaming company that I've become fans of that make GM-less RPGs, and one of their GM-less RPGs is called, I don't remember what it's called, but it has a murder board in it as like the play mat where everyone plays. It's just a murder mystery RPG where you play through a murder board, and like you need yarn and things like that to play the game. It's pretty awesome. They're a great company. They're called, I don't know, Make Big Things, something like that is what they're called. Here's one of their other games. Hannah Schaffer and Evan Rowland have a company that I'm promoting on stream right now, even though we're not playing any of their games yet, but we will be on that new channel that I was just talking about. But I can't remember their name. Okay, well, fair enough. They don't deserve to get promoted right now. Anyway, yes, they're pretty cool. Check them out. They made a game called Questlandia, and you can probably find them through that. Okay. Back to your murder board. So you want to make a murder board, and Caliban, your intention is to join him in that?
Oh, 100%. And I also want to pose a question even before we do that. You didn't get to meet Nusha, the head of the Futurists.
And and you did not get to meet Taj El-Aziz.
I did not. Who did you say he was related to?
He's related to Masozi, of all people. The
Masozi seems to keep coming up.
If
we see him again, we can do a little blood test.
you like to make sure he's telling the truth, or like you are the great grandfather kind of blood test?
One then perhaps the other.
Okay, fair enough.
But you didn't get to meet Nuja. But if the goal of, well, actually, no, I'll pose this question. Like, what do you think the goal of these infected is? What are they trying to do?
I don't know. I've been thinking about that a lot. I keep thinking back to my time in undergrad, and there was a we were studying the effect of an invasive species of fish in a southern Chilestrian stream, and
Sounds exhilarating.
What's that?
Sounds exhilarating.
It is. It is. Thank you. It's in nature, there's no malice, right? There's no ill will. They're just spreading. They're just trying to survive. If we're dealing with something like that, it could absolutely just be trying to keep itself alive. Like no ill will.
I guess, but there's if that were the case, I feel like a lot of cues that we're picking up from, I mean, Arwa in just our last conversation, but also from so a couple other people that we've been talking to, is that there's some kind of like order that the Kava are trying to maintain. And these creatures, people, whatever, that are the infected are threatening that order in some way. And that order, and so the Kava want to maintain that order. The infected want to dismantle and or change that order. And all we know right now is that we think that the infected are bad because they're, I mean, killing their hosts, I would assume. But I mean, I personally find a lot of the things that the Kava have, while very sort of idyllic and utopian in a way, are kind of dystopian in other ways, and strange. And maybe we have to, I think, first of all, figure out what the infected are trying to do, and if that's the case, then we need to figure out, is the order worth maintaining? Anyway, just something I was thinking about.
Agreed. And slightly tangential. I was also thinking about the order of things here, and I kind of think it would be worth experimenting, kind of testing the waters a little bit with the order that's maintained. Start small. I'm not sure to what end, but like, throw some garbage or refuse on the somewhere in town square and see how people react, see who comes to clean it up, just kind of test what their social protocols are and kind of get a sense of
right
reaction.
So I'm an order cleric. So I can see why that would be helpful, and I fully encourage that from you. Okay. And from the rest of the party. I think my place in that portrait, in that scenario, is the one who can be there to distract and or talk to the people who are trying to keep the order. I can at least put on the face of someone trying to sympathize and or keep the order, right? While the rest of you fuck shit up, so to speak.
Well, your words, not mine, surprisingly, but yeah, sure. Point taken.
I just love that, like, on some level, you guys were theoretically at least brought in here to save the society, and Caliban in his first private moment is like, should we really bother saving this society? Like, maybe not worth saving. I love it. It just makes me so happy. Okay, so I'm gonna leave you two there. Again, I want to say that I've made a murder board for you guys. You guys can add to that as you see fit and do anything you want on that. That's your space.
I'm gonna do that right now.
I is for making names. There's connections. You can make my one suggestion for making a murder board if you've never made a murder board before. I feel like I'm revealing too much about myself, but come up with a key and standardize how you relate to these things, because it's very easy to like just draw lines of connection between things and not understand quite what those connections always are. So just say red line equals this, blue line equals this. Just make sure that you really understand what that's my biggest suggestion.
Take
it from a pro. Take it from a pro.
I'm a big fan of color
I
coding.
mean, kinda.
I will probably put all of this in an Excel document later.
That's totally fair too. We can also, if we want, if we want to get it off Roll20, the other thing we can do is we can look at Kuwu. I don't know if anyone here has looked at Kuwu before, but Kuwu is great for murder boards and organizing, and also great for organizing campaigns in general, and how people are connected and things like that. Because you can sort of determine the parameters and then organize based on those parameters. Okay, so while the two of you begin working on this, we'll call this the murder board prototype. Let's go check in with our other three, who, if I'm not mistaken, the plan is to try to distract as many of these servants as you possibly can so that Thea can sneak in and steal things. Everyone on board with? Great. So let's see how we go about this. So you guys head upstairs above your Soulwood box, and the second you come off your floaty thing, that's the technical term, and are on the floor of all of your guys' rooms and things like that. The three of you are there, and there are other people around. Your personal your attendants, who you brought with you, are all available to you as well, as are the servants from the Kava. And as of right now, there are three of them that seem awake and present and ready to attend on the three of you. Nova.
So I think one thing that would be both useful and would be we need to get blood samples from everyone who's part of this servant gang. And that would require everyone to like make a line and like get blood, and then we can have Thea test it later when she's back from getting her stuff.
We could also zone of truth in here too, because I feel like they probably can't refuse.
And maybe that's something that Celexa and Nova can kind of like corral everyone into one room, and Thea can, do whatever Thea, needs to do.
Okay. So what's the intent? So the intention, I understand the intention. What's the methodology by which this happens? Do you find one and say, hey, can you get all the servants for us? Or what do you do?
I think that we should get one of them and then have them bring everyone from the Night Watch and the Day Watch, all of our collective servants, and ask for however many vials we need.
Okay. Yeah. So the two of you are in one of your rooms or in the common room, or I'm trying to get obviously physical location is very mutable, but like I want a rough idea of like, we're gathering them outside, we're gathering them across the hall from where Thea's going to sneak in, we're gathering them 2 rooms down from where Thea's sneaking in, like just something broad.
How about whoever's room is farthest from my room?
Okay. Yeah. So that actually conveniently would be Slex's room. So you're very on the right track. So because you're second and Slex is 5th, so that puts you in good shape there. Cool. So Slex's room. So you're gathering people in Slex's room. So you find a servant and ask to bring all the servants. And one of the servants says, you want me to wake the people from the Night Watch? Don't you think they need their rest?
Won't be long. They can go back to resting right afterwards. You do live to serve, right?
Yes, mistress. Yeah, roll a persuasion check at advantage. Yeah. And bows and goes to wake up servants. And they start coming back to join you guys in Selexa's room. Thea, where are you positioned as the servants are being woken up and brought away? Are you in your own room? Are you hidden away?
I think I'm hiding
Mhm.
as best I can.
Mhm.
Maybe somewhere nearby, just so I can see when they all go in, so I
Mhm.
can head out from there.
Okay, yeah. Why don't you roll a stealth check for me? 21, nice. Okay, so there's going to be more than one stealth check in this series of rolls that you're going to be making for me, Thea, but I'm going to rule that before any stealth check that Thea is going to make, my other two characters involved in the scene, Nova and Selexa, can attempt to make a distraction to give Thea advantage on her stealth roll. Now that you don't technically know, but I'm just ruling that you, like, in general, you're trying to be distracting. So if you succeed in being distracting at that moment, then Thea will get advantage on her stealth roll. Make sense? Everyone feel good about that? Reasonable set of sub rules here that we're creating? Cool. Awesome. Cool. So Thea, you see the servants wake up and they start heading down towards Selexa's room. What is your intention? What do you want to do?
All right, so then I go. It's Nova's servant, right? That had the key.
Yeah.
So I go into their room.
The doorway is open, but you go there and you bump into something. It feels like an invisible wall.
Is there any way for me to open it?
I don't know. What are you doing?
Can I search for like a button or a doorknob or something?
Yeah, roll an investigation check. Yeah. Every time your flesh touches this, you get like a tiny zap, and it stings just a little bit. But when your sleeve brushes or touches it, it doesn't get a zap. It's just your flesh.
So maybe I'll shove it with like my arm, like not my flesh, but like covered with my clothes.
Yeah, so your elbow goes straight through. Like the sleeved part of your elbow goes straight through.
Okay, so then I'm gonna like bring my hands into my sleeves and cover my head and try to just.
It's like there's no wall there. You just walk right through. Selexa and Nova, let's check in on you guys. So you have all of the servants there for you, working for you guys right now. There are, of the Kava servants, I'm sorry, I'm assuming Kava servants. Of the Kava servants, there are 12 that seem to be dedicated to working for you guys right now. Mistresses, what need you?
All right, Selexa, how are we going to put them in order? Which order should we do this? Should we go tallest to shortest, youngest to oldest?
Okay, I think we should do let's do both, youngest to oldest, but if they're the same age, then they should be in order of height.
All right. And then I feel like eye color should be involved in some way also. Any ideas on that?
Let's see. Eye color can be the tiebreaker, right? So if we have people who are the same age and about the same height, then we can include eye color as well and try and adjust for that, right? Or any groups that have the same eye color, they should actually go at opposite ends of the line, and that supersedes everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so we'll start with that, and we'll ask one person at a time how old they are, and then we'll follow up with each of the subsequent questions, so we make sure we get it in exactly the right order.
It's important that this is organized, otherwise it's going to be a total mess. So absolutely, I think that's right. Yeah.
And we also need, we'll also make sure we label every single vial precisely so that nothing gets out of order.
Well, that goes without saying. Yes, indeed.
So, Celexa, I would like you to roll a deception check. Nova, I want you to roll a perception check.
Okay.
Nova, first and foremost, all of your servants' eyes are pale gray. All 12 of them. And that is an excellent deceiving job, Celexa. Thea, I would like you to roll a stealth check at advantage, please. Oh, beautiful. Natural 20. Gotta love it. Critical stealth check. So Thea, you're now inside this room, this servant's room. It's a little bit disconcerting for you to be in here. Because I think the first thing that you are confronted with is like a very ornately done portrait of you. And you pull back a little bit, and then you see that it's actually a portrait of all 5 of you. There's like 5 portraits in there, one of each of you guys. And it's very ornate and very like beautifully done, very clearly artistically done. There's a bed. The bed is unmade. Clearly someone just got out of bed. There is only one bed for the 2 of them, though, but 2 sets of chests of drawers, as well as a desk. What do you want to do while you're in here?
I think I'm gonna first look in the desk to try to find the key and anything that looks worth taking.
Yeah, absolutely. The desk has mostly open drawers. A few with like there's a drawer with granola bars, or like the local equivalent of granola bars in it. And then there's a drawer that has like a small glass sphere in it that sort of rolls around loose in the drawer. It sort of makes noise as the drawer opens and closes. Looks like you'd call it a paperweight, except that it's not flat on any side. But it's some sort of small glass orb. And then there's a drawer that's locked. Can you roll a thieves' tools check for me? Beautiful. Yeah. So you're able to unlock the door, and inside a drawer, inside that drawer, you see a key, and also a stack of papers.
All right. I'm gonna take the key and look through this stack of papers.
Excellent. I think we need another quick distraction over here from Flexa and Nova. Let's see how we're doing. What are you guys doing with these people? Do you want their blood?
How much blood do we need? Like, do you remember? Was it a lot of blood, or was it just a little blood?
So one of the servants looks at you and says, Mistress, you need our blood?
Right. So we're going to be taking your blood.
And she just pulls out a vial of her own blood and offers it to you.
Does everyone have vials of their own blood?
The other 11 each pull out a vial of their own blood and offer it to you.
Why do you have vials of your blood?
It is part of our beliefs, mistress.
I see. Well, the fact remains, we don't necessarily know that this came from you, right? And not that we have reason to disbelieve you specifically, but we have been brought in under the suggestion that we essentially trust nobody. And since you're so used to having your blood drawn, I'm sure it will not bother you at all to provide a fresh sample.
Yeah, you're 100% right. Roll a persuasion check at advantage, please.
15.
Yeah, they just nod, and each of them slip their vial of blood back into their cloaks, into the folds of their cloaks, and then walk forward and present you their arm. Each of it just presents you their arm. Meanwhile, back in the other room. So Thea, what are you looking for in these notes? You're just looking for like general what they might be about?
Yeah, just trying to see what they're about.
Yeah, absolutely. So the top stack of papers is a very, very, very detailed report on all of your actions from the day before. Just like time-stamped and regular, you can see I didn't realize that Nova broke away at 12:54 and 26 seconds. Like it's a very detailed timestamp of like this is they've taken the minutes on you guys, right? They're just hyper orderly like that. Underneath that, though, there seems to be like a collection of, I guess, what you would call poetry. That seems to be sort of vague and amorphous. It's not really like poetry that you've really been exposed to. How much poetry has Thea been exposed to?
Only poetry in like folk songs,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So then it feels very, very weird to you, right? This is like going from like folk song poetry to like, I don't know, Muriel Rukeyser or E. Cummings or something like that. Poetry that like where spacing matters and things like that, and they have like weird symbols in it sometimes, and most of it is in the Kava languages, but some of it's in Tawani. It sort of like goes back and forth and merges languages around a little bit. But you do see your name in there, and Selex's name in there, and Nova's name in there. Though not Timothy or Caliban. Yeah, it's very weird to see this.
I think she's gonna try to take one of those poems.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to leave the rest, but yeah. Just
Okay.
taking one that has clearly our names in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So you take one poem or one sheet of paper with poems on it. Maybe it's more than one poem, but one sheet of paper, probably from the middle somewhere. And you take the key as well. And then it's your intention to leave? Or do you want to search this from further?
I think while I'm here, I'm going to keep searching.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Okay, then let's get one more set of distractions from Nova and Selexa.
Have we finished taking blood from everyone?
Yeah, I think it takes time for you to take the blood, but it takes time for Thea to search through these notes as well. So we need one more distraction.
So Selexa is going to, well, I'll say Nova, while Nova is like finishing up, like taking the blood samples and things like that. Selexa walks over to the other side of the other side of the room, and she is going to, with her back turned, she's going to cast prestidigitation, like kind of like right in front of her, and make a mark on the like a I don't know, kind of a gray smudge on the wall in front of her, right? And she's going to say, excuse me, what is this doing here? Can you guys come in and take a look at this? This is ridiculous. Like, is this the kind of standards that you guys have for cleanliness in this place?
Yeah. Okay. Roll a deception check. I think this is our first contested roll. Okay. Well, a 13 still beats my 12. So even a lower roll beats a lower roll. Yeah, absolutely. So they come over and they're distracted and oh, I am so sorry, mistress. And I think your attendant immediately like apologizes. I will immediately. I will go get cleaning supplies and clean this up.
You will do so, but I have a more immediate need to discuss with you first. Before you go to clean these things, I need to give you instructions on things that I will require for you to collect for me tonight. And you'll probably need some help, so I'm going to give this list to a few of you. But hold on, I need to write them. There's a few things I need to write them down. So please wait. I will write them down, and then I will have you go and fetch them.
Perfect. Okay, Thea, roll one more stealth check for me. This is your last one. It is still at advantage because of successful deception checks. Nice. Good. So you do a more thorough search of the room, looking around, trying to find things. Roll an investigation check for me. Yeah. So looking at the bed, you notice that like one side of the mattress is like up a little bit. The other side is down, but one side is like up, like it's partially on top of the edge of the bed frame, not like fully cemented where it's supposed to be.
Like someone's hiding their journal under there.
Yeah, something like that, maybe.
Okay, so I'm gonna look under that mattress, that side of the mattress.
Yeah. There is bolted into the bed frame a small lockbox, which is opens up into the bed frame. So you couldn't even open it from the side. You have to lift up the mattress to even look into it.
Well, I'm gonna try to open it then.
Yeah, thieves still check, please, with dexterity. Wow, high rolls. I'm liking it all around. Yeah, you open it, and inside you find a series of papers, which are all in code and in the Kva language.
Is it like a big stack of papers?
I would say it's like 3/4 of an inch, but they're all pretty small papers. They're like note card sized.
Okay. I'm also gonna take one of those.
Okay, absolutely. Can you do me a favor and roll 1d20? Not plus anything, just. Beautiful. Okay, thank you. Perfect. And you're gonna leave.
Yeah.
Okay, and you are able to exit. Cool. So, Celexa, why? What do you want these people to get for you?
I am going to ask for a smattering of spells and scrolls and potions.
Okay.
And I think why should I just tell you, or should I like type them into the Roll20?
Yeah, you can just type them to the Roll20, and
Okay.
I'll let you know if there's any problems with any of them. But I'll probably say yes to everything just to guess.
Oh, that's fine. If there's issues, there's issues, but
yep.
Let's give it a shot.
If there's issues, it's worth dramatizing, but I don't think there will be. So
great. So that should take just a second because I've got them all written out.
Sounds good. And Nova, let's see, you've collected blood from all these people in vials. You've drawn the blood from them themselves. Is there anything that you want from there?
Now, everyone, I have one more question for all of you.
Yes, mistress?
Any of you infected?
No. Oh, no, mistress.
I'd like to look at all of them individually, just like slowly kind of peering into their eyes to see if I can tell if anyone's lying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Roll an insight check. No one seems to be lying.
Okay, I said good. And does it seem like Thea's done?
Yeah, Thea, do you like come and like join them or something like that in the room, or how do you signal that you're done so they don't have to keep distracting these people all night?
Yeah, I go into the room and I ask, where's my servant?
Right here, mistress.
I'm really thirsty. I just need some water.
Of course, mistress. And he runs off to go get you a drink.
Right. I say, thank you all. You are dismissed.
And they'll go and, and several of them go back to bed.
Thea, can you test these blood samples we got?
I would love to.
Yeah, so I think I need to make a correction here, and this will be a minor correction, but I think that testing blood has to take time mechanically. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. So I'm going to say that like each blood sample's got to take a half hour to do. And if you are hyper dedicated to just testing blood samples, then you could test probably 24 to 30 in a day. Which would be like 30 would be a lot, unless your character invents a technique to test more or mass test or something like that, which is obviously possible as well. But for now, at least, so we're going to mechanically say that it takes time to do this. Okay. Let's go check in with Timothy and Caliban. How's my murder board coming?
No. That's the wrong color. We have to connect with the green one. Oh,
sorry.
Maybe
I'm not terribly good at this.
That's okay. It's my first time too. Maybe we can go get some coffee from the servants. Do you think they have some sort of stimulant like that here?
I mean, they seem to be really hardworking, so either that's by sheer force of will, or they have something like coffee.
Yeah, probably. Hey, have you cracked open any of these dossiers on the deceased?
Nope.
Yeah.
You want to do that?
Yeah, let's page through and see if there are any connections. It'd be great if they all ate at the same restaurant on the same day. Not that they would probably have that, but maybe they all worked in the same place. I don't know.
Yeah. No, because we want to figure out where they're getting infected and how, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah, let's crack that open.
Great.
Cool. So a huge number of these people were infected. Sorry, not where they infected. A huge number of these people that have died in a accident on the airship lodge. The accident was that a certain terrorist that you guys helped back into the country named Masozi blew up a bomb because he suspected that the airship yards had a lot of infected people. He was proven relatively right. There were a fair number of people there working, about 50 people working there who were killed in the explosion. And 30 of them seem to have been roughly infected, which is not which is a fair number, 60%. But also, a lot of them, their bodies were too demolished to get much out of. So you have dossiers on that group of people.
So you gotta do a better job.
Well, he was exiled. Okay, let's keep looking in. Yeah, so you see, let's see. Why don't I have one of you guys roll an investigation check at advantage?
Can that be you, please?
Sure, I will do so.
And I'll guide you in this.
Okay. What does that mean? So I add a D4?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Here's investigation.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oh.
Roll that D4 anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, great.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think everything's sort of blurring together in your eyes, and everything's sort of exhausting and tiring, and you realize that you can smell from upstairs the scent of your cooked fish, and that is distracting you and preventing you from being as effective as you want to be.
So you're making the dossier wet. Stop drooling.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, my mind went elsewhere. I don't think I'm any good here. Maybe it's dinner time.
We'll come back to this later. It's not going anywhere.
I hope.
Yeah.
All right.
So let's see. Just a quick point of clarification, Nika. All of these scrolls and potions are fine. The second speak with dead, they'll need to craft specifically for you, so that'll take a day. But you can have, but everything else you have immediately.
Thank you.
Yeah, or they'll bring it to you after dinner or whatever. Okay, so it's dinner time. You all get to have dinner. You all eat dinner. It tastes good. It's actually quite tasty. It's a fish that Timothy caught that's quite substantive, and it feeds all of you and your servants because it's a very big fish. Yeah, that's the state of things right now. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
It's probably late-ish now. Probably more room to. I want to make sure that time is progressing. So I'll say that Thea, you get through. We'll say 3 of your 12 blood tests that you want to do this evening. But that then you're just too tired to keep going, and it's time to long rest and start the next day afresh. Does that work for everyone?
Before we go to bed, one quick thing.
Go for it.
Can I cast locate object
Yes.
on the coin that I sent Nusha if she's within 1,000 feet from me?
Yes, you can cast locate object on a coin that you sent to Nuja. She is not within 1,000 feet of you.
Okay, great.
Okay. Yeah, Evan? You got one more thing?
No, that's all.
Okay, cool. Okay, yeah, so it's night, and you guys all sleep and get a good night's rest. You'll long rest and all that good stuff. And you wake up, and it's the next day. This is the day that on the evening is supposed to be our moon viewing party. And that is that. When you wake up in the morning, each of you has a resplendently beautiful outfit tailored to you, waiting in your room. Mostly silvers and pale blues in colors. A lot of very subtle glittering as well. And some jewelry picked out as well, if you so desire. Laid out there for the party that evening. Obviously not for the day, but for that evening.
Alabama's very happy. Have some nice clothes.
Cool. So it is morning. It is during the day. What are people's broad intentions today before the party?
I forget, does Nephany know how to read Kavanian?
Yes, she knows how to read some Kavanian. She is fluent in speaking it and pretty good at reading it. But she's not. She doesn't know all things.
Can we take her into our meeting room? Or I'd like to ask her to try to read the poetry and maybe the coded card.
Do you tell everyone that you're taking Nephany in there?
I think I tell Nova.
Okay.
I'll go with her.
Okay.
Okay.
We should also do a blood test while we're there. Or maybe before we're there.
Yeah.
Okay. So first up, you do a blood test on Nephany. Takes about half an hour, and you discover that whatever you are testing for, Nephany does not test positive for it. Okay, and now you're comfortable taking her into the room. Okay, so you say Pastrovarg and enter the room, and you go into the room. So which are you showing her, the poetry first or the card?
I'll show her the poetry first.
Mm-hmm.
A little warm up.
It is the form is not one that you would know, Nova or Thea. It is a structure that we use for our poetry here in the Kava. for religious poems, sort of not dissimilar from the structure of a sonnet for you. Let's say, yes, I guess I could translate it, but honestly, it's a little embarrassing. It is an ode to the beauty and glory of the saviors of the Kava, you. It, it doesn't really treat you as very human. They kind of deify you.
Well, that's not weird at all.
Yes. I'm not certain how to say, but there is a Prian religious figure that you may know, Nova, Marila. She is, not spoken of in like a person, even though at one time she was person. She is now deified, and that normally happens over time for greatness, for heroes. They are speaking of you the same way. It is weird.
Is it clear why it's only Celexa Nova and me in the poem?
No. Though if I were to guess, I would suggest that there are other poems about the men. It would be a slightly different structure to include both genders in the same poem. Not that that's a thing here, but all genders, and it doesn't matter. We have different structures of poems for different identifying things, and if you wanted to have like, this is the structure of this poem would be like group female, and if you wanted to write a poem, then it would be group female, and via this you can get different meaning by having, if you write a group male poem about a mixed group of people, that says something about the structure informs the contents.
Was this written by the servant, or does it look like something that was like? Is there any way?
Almost certainly written by a servant. Not to speak too ill of it, but it is not very good.
All right. Well, that's an interesting relationship.
It's good to know, I think. What about this card? What can you tell from this?
Yeah, so she takes it and she looks at it, and she kind of like struggles with it a little bit, and then she looks back at you and says, I don't fully know it. It's not that I cannot read, it's that this is gibberish. My theory would be that this is some kind of code to so that even those who read Kava language could not read. I mean, this is let's see, your formal Tawani alphabet would be Q X O R D. That doesn't really have a meaning, but right? That doesn't. So I don't. Yes.
Is there any way that that if the letters were translated, that we would be able to read it in formal Tawani?
Sure. I can write out the translation for you. But it doesn't. I mean, translation between Tawani and Kava is already very weird. Our understanding of things doesn't quite mesh, and so the translation would be, and then a translation of a syllabic cipher would be even weirder. So I don't know that it would mean anything.
Okay. Nephany, is this something that you would take a look at for a while and see if you can make any sense of it?
Can try. Yes. Yeah. What is Nephany's class? What is she?
She is a warlord.
Excellent. That's good because that means her intelligence is higher. So, yeah, she will work on it.
Okay.
It will take her mechanical time to deduce anything, and whether that time matters or not, that's you don't get to know that. But theoretically, she will eventually crack the code.
Great.
It will take probably more than a day though, even if she's dedicating all her time to it. But she'll just start working on it, and she'll dedicate all her time on it, unless you tell her otherwise at this point. Feel good?
Yeah.
At least something. Okay. Let's check in with some other people. Celexa, how you doing?
So Alexa wants to also like she's gonna wait for a moment to talk to Thea. And she's gonna say, hey Thea, do you wanna go exploring somewhere where they don't wanna let us? I think we can go get in somewhere. Do you wanna try?
Thea gets a little twinkle in her eye. She's nods.
Okay. So I think what we need is Thea's is Thea's room kind of near, like, whose room is closer to the front door area? Thea's room or Celexa's?
Thea's room is closer. Thea's in the middle, you're at the end.
Perfect. So let's see. Can you send your daytime helper on an errand?
Sure. Excuse me.
Yes, mistress.
I really have just like an inkling for, or really want something sweet, but not too sweet, but a teeny bit sour, but a bit salty. I know you can find it for me. Really can't get anything done
what
until
this might be.
I don't know exactly what it might be, but I'm sure you can find it.
I will. Yeah, roll a deception check. Without more information, I'm not quite certain what to get you, mistress. Perhaps it would be best if I wait here while you consider your options, and then when you know what you need, I can go get it.
All right. Why don't you wait here, and I'll walk around and think about it.
Very well, mistress.
Okay, then.
Okay.
Leaves and,
yeah. So
yeah, she follows you from a respectful distance, but she's like 20 feet behind.
Okay. Let's see. Backup plan.
Get him. Sorry. The classic Ghostbusters plan. Sorry.
Let's see. I think uh Celexa is going to so Celexa is going to be in Thea's room, right? And she is going to while Thea and her helper are kind of like walking around, she is going to use thaumaturgy to make the sounds of like thumping and crashing and commotion from the other end of the hall. Whatever, maybe it'd be Selexa's room. Is that the one that's like furthest?
That's the furthest one down.
Yeah, so she's gonna make the sound of like thumping and crashing and commotion down there.
Of course, yeah, of course, and of course, everyone is expecting this from Celexa, whatever that is, whatever it is, people are expecting it. Yeah, right. Why don't you make a deception check for me at advantage?
Okay. Where is that? Too many windows. I got it.
No worries.
Deception.
20. Nice. Yeah. So immediately, Thea's servant turns and starts rushing towards Selexa's room, as do a couple of the other servants.
So Celexa waits just long enough for them to like pass and go down to her room, and then she walks out of Thea's room looking exactly like Thea's handler, and she grabs Thea by the arm and leads her to the front door.
Beautiful. Yeah. So disguise self, is that what you're doing, or do you have a Kava trait? Oh, sorry, I was Starford.
It's basically it's disguise self. It's a warlock invocation that works as disguise self. Yeah.
Mask of many faces. Gotta love it. Excellent. Yeah. So perfect. Thea, your handler seems to grab you by the arm in a way that your handler has never done before, and starts walking very, very quickly to the exit.
All right, it's me. We're just gonna head out right now.
Gotcha.
Okay. So Thea and Celexa break free. Let's check in with some other people before we see where they head off to. Caliban, what about you? What are you doing this morning?
Meditating. Mulling over the divination spell in my ring. And trying to decide whether or not I should use it with regards to any actions we might want to take tonight with everyone in one place. But I think that is all I want to do today.
Great. Let's check in on Timothy.
I turn to Meek and go, Meek, do you want to have a little fun in the name of research?
Meek like fun?
Okay. All right. Let's go for a walk. We're going to have our 2 followers. Or I don't know. Are there 3? Are you being followed too, Meek?
Nope.
Okay, good. All right. Now, okay, be very quiet. This is a secret, okay? We're going to go out. And I want you to do a couple things, and I'm going to observe what happens in the town, okay?
What things?
I'll be within shouting distance if anything goes wrong. Okay, first I want you to take some litter or garbage. I just want you to casually throw it on the ground.
Not eat?
Not eat, no.
Oh. Throw it on ground.
Yeah.
Then eat?
Eventually, if you want to, yes.
Okay.
Let's see what happens first.
Okay. Yeah. So you guys head out, and your handlers come with you, obviously, because you're not trying to dodge them, because your whole point is that you're testing your handlers. And what's the intent here? Sorry. Where do you want to do this? You want to do this obviously outside your rooms, but like in a public place? Do you want to do this at the river that you did fishing at before, or?
I'd like to go to the Shame Statue Plaza.
Beautiful. The Shame Statue Plaza. I love it. It's a great name for it. It's totally appropriate. Okay.
And I'd like to make me go into the middle very conspicuously, while I hang around like the outskirts and talk to my handlers.
Yeah, absolutely. So your handlers are chatting with you, and they one of them inhales heavily as Meek even gets into the middle of the shame statue, right? Like, but they do nothing. They just like, okay, 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 it'll be fine, it'll be fine, it'll be fine. Yeah, you can hear them sort of muttering under their breath, and the other one's like, excuse me, sir, master, do you know what Meek is doing?
Oh, I think he's just going for a morning run. Can you tell me about this building here?
Yes, of course. And this is a building that was built for performances of live music, actually. And like keep on looking at the building, looking at you, looking at Meek, like just their head is bowing. And then Meek throws garbage down at this point, some litter. Like a crumpled up couple of pieces of paper is really what you have access to because this is kind of a low waste position. And like your handler, like, yes. So a tall building that was made here by the architect Elland and his crew of servants that were not from around here, and they worked very hard on this structure here that is here before you. And so like there's a lot of obvious tension and discomfort as this happens. Meek is like sort of waiting for further instructions. He's just sort of standing in the middle of this thing and he looks at the garbage. And like you haven't said anything, so he just scampers off and comes back to you. Do you want me to do anything else?
Sure. Can you I send one of the people for some paint.
Some paint?
Yes.
Yes, of course. Of course, master. And any color preference?
Oh, how about a nice shocking pink?
Pink, of course, yes. No problem. And they go. One of them leaves while the other one continues. Are you still interested in the architectural history of this building?
Oh, why don't you tell me about that one?
Oh, yes, of course. And blah, blah, blah. And then the servant comes back with pink paint.
Meek, why don't you go make something pretty in the plaza?
Okay, no problem. And he takes the paint and just runs over to the plaza and starts like painting the statue bright pink, and starts painting symbols on the floors. Like there's little pictures of flowers and things like that. And he looks back and he shouts, "Can I get some blue?"
What are the handlers doing?
Yeah, well, one of them is very stiffly trying to explain the history of a building to you, and the other is just looking on with like total shock and horror. Like, what is this going on before me? How could this be happening? And like starts like almost hyperventilating. Do you want to ask him to get you some blue paint?
Oh, yes, please.
He looks at you with like horror in his eyes, and then like says, "Yes, Master Timothy," and he goes and gets blue paint.
Oh my god!
And brings
This
it
is so
back.
cruel.
What are the other people doing? What are the passerbys doing?
Yeah, most of them like look, have a roll an insight check for me.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so most of them look, have a moment of like extreme horror, and then like pull up a hood and cover their face and walk away. Like people are walking past quickly. No one's trying to stop Meek. No one's trying to stop you. But people are just looking on in horror and then moving away quickly.
All right. I'm going to call Meek back and say, Meek, why don't you move on to something a little more lively? How about you go up to every person walking by and ask if they want their portrait painted?
Okay.
And be sure to shake their hand. Maybe even have paint on it. Your hand.
Yeah, so Meek goes to do this and starts like trying to shake people's hands. Everyone shakes his hand and then looks at their hand, and no one wants their portrait taken. But the handler looks at you, who's been trying to explain the buildings, looks at you and looks like just flabbergasted, and says, "Is there something that you're attempting to prove, Master Timothy, with this disruption?"
Oh, disruption. I'm so sorry. Meek just needed to blow off some steam. You know, we've been here for a while. He was just getting a little stir crazy.
But blowing off steam by defacing our sacred artifacts, our marks of our history.
Sacred artifacts? Why does it upset you so much?
It's not dignified. It's not done. Look at what you are. Look at what he's painted it pink.
Would you have preferred a different color?
I would have preferred no color. It was a work of art, and now it's covered in pink paint, and there's a smiley face on its back.
Well, it is definitely different. Would you like him to paint to clean it up?
No, we'll handle it. It's fine. Kobolds, no matter where they are from, are the worst things in existence.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was that?
Kobolds, no matter where they are from, are the worst things in all of creation.
That doesn't seem very tolerant, sir.
You are correct. I apologize. There are plenty of brilliant kobolds who have accomplished many great things. Their culture is one that has a long and rich history, both in Abrak and in other places. There are many, many great kobolds. What I'm experiencing is merely a passing sensation of fury, and I should let it go and flow with the path. So I'm going to cut that scene. Let's go check in with Celexa and Thea. So you guys have broken out successfully.
Celexa starts walking and leading Thea in the direction of the celestial domain.
Beautiful. Okay.
How far is it to get there?
Yeah, let's see. From where you are, it is about a mile and a half.
Okay, so not that far.
Not that far.
On the way, Celexa wants to sort of like walk through a quiet area or like an alley or something that's a little bit where there's not a lot of people, not people around.
Okay. Yeah.
And she's going to slip Thea a potion of invisibility. And also Celexa is also going to read one of her scrolls of tongues.
Beautiful. So let's see, scroll of tongue. Guess you're still tucked. Everything. Okay. And are you going to use this for yourself or for Thea, who will be invisible?
For me.
Okay. Excellent. So you want to be able to understand things because tongues allows you to give it to other people as well.
Right. Actually, she'll also give Thea a potion of let's see what this is. Comprehension?
Comprehend language.
Yeah, it's one that she got from the professor back in the at the Grand Accord.
Yeah, wonderful.
So then if you take that, also you should be able to hear, like you won't be able to speak, but you can understand.
Yeah, you can hear and you can read anything.
Oh, cool.
Okay, awesome.
Think about one quick thing. Tongues is a 3rd level spell.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You don't have 3rd level magic yet, so we need to roll to make this work. Thank you, Evan. Thank you.
Thank you, Evan.
It's on your spell list, so it's not.
It's what, DC 13, I think, since it's a 3rd level spell. Is that right?
Yep. DC 13 spell. It's your spell modifier, so charisma plus proficiency for you.
Great. So that means I can roll it as a saving throw, since I've got charisma saving throw proficiency.
Perfect. Yeah, that'll work.
Right.
14 is the success. No problem. Yeah. Okay. So you've got tongues. We've got comprehend language. We've got and we've got a potion of invisibility. And the plan is to sneak into the celestial domain.
That's what I mean. What do you think, Thea? Is it worth a shot?
We might as well.
So I think those potions will last for an hour. So if you as will my tongues spell. So probably I'm thinking take them now before we get there.
Okay.
And then we'll just see what we can see in an hour.
All right. Sounds good to me. And I think Thea will say it, then we can tap in psionically if we need to say anything to each other.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah, you're the best, Thea. I think... I'm trying to think. I wonder... I think that Slexa is also going to... she's going to use Mask of Many Faces again, and she doesn't want to look exactly like the handler. She just wants to look like a random person.
A random member of the Kava.
A random woman from the Kava, because she can't change her voice, right? So, yeah.
Beautiful. Okay. Awesome. And Thea, are you going to use the invisibility potion to break in?
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. Then before that happens, I want to check in with Nova. So Nova, you spent the morning doing some testing with Thea, but now you've got some time to yourself. What do you want to do?
I would like to wander around and see how many underground doors I can find.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. Roll a perception or investigation. I will allow either in this circumstance. Okay. Or if you want to ask people about them and not just discover them, then you can do persuasion.
Nope. I will do perception. Nope.
Yeah. So most of these are somewhat hidden in the sense that people tend to keep them inside of their houses or inside of their buildings. So from the outdoors, as you explore the outdoors, they're not easy to spot. They definitely, there's like an aesthetic principle that's at play here in the Kava, where people are clearly to hide secrets, architecturally speaking. Just like you have a landing pad in the center of your roof, but if anyone was even flying around your roof, they wouldn't necessarily see it. So the same thing is more or less true with this access to the underground. Okay. I think what you discover is that most of the underground accesses are going to be from within buildings.
Then I would like to go to the one that I know where it is.
Yes.
And I assume I'm being followed.
Yep.
I'm gonna just go into it and see what they do.
Mistress, you're not supposed to be there yet. Tomorrow it will be available to you, but as of today, it is still not. For your own safety.
why is it safe tomorrow but not today?
We are not allowed to say. You already have met someone that you were not allowed to meet, or so we have been told.
Huh. I think Nova would like to go around and just like point to random different places. So can I go in there?
Sure.
And she'd like to just try to figure out how many different places they don't want me going into.
Mm-hmm.
So she's just gonna wander around and point like.
Can I go here? Can I go here? Can I go here? Can I go here? Oh man, I love it. That's great. Okay. Yeah. So you poke around and start seeing various places that you can and cannot go. Most places that you cannot go are either underground or the celestial domain is pointed out as you not being allowed to go, and also certain inner chambers of the Kari or the council. There's like you could ask permission to go, but they have domain over their own location. You would have to need their permission to enter that place, right? Things like that are sort of generally what's said to you. But again, after the moon viewing ceremony tonight, you'll have full access to anywhere you want.
Okay. I would like to have Nova just kind of make a list of, especially the underground places that she's not supposed to go to.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, excellent. Let's check in with Timothy and my madcap Meek, and driving the Kavan insane. Go for it.
I'm actually just sitting in the same plaza, and I'm taking notes on everyone who goes by and their reactions.
Yeah.
Specifically, like, are there any authority figures, or is anyone coming to clean it up, or what's happening?
Yeah. So no one has come to clean it up. No one has done anything of the sort. There is someone who comes to the plaza who is very clearly stands up very straight and very proper. Sort of symbols emblazoned across the left-hand side of her chest on her garment. Looks like medals, maybe you would guess. Certainly in your culture, they would be like military medals or something like that. And she looks at this and she frowns and furrows her brow. She licks her lips and then she comes over to you and says, "Chosen one, did you do this?"
My servant did.
Not one of ours. Someone that you brought with you.
Yes, I'm sorry, my companion.
Excellent. May I ask if there was meaning?
No, I think he just, got a little crazy and misinterpreted the rules.
Would you be offended if we clean this?
Meek, is that okay with you?
Sure.
Would you like to help?
Do I have to?
No, that's fine.
So this is not a part of your process in deducing and solving the problem for which you are brought to solve?
Yes, it was.
But you have completed your task and it is now done, and I can arrange for this area to be cleaned?
Yes, you may.
She bows. Well, chosen one. And she turns and walks off.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. What was your name? I didn't catch that.
I am General Shahama.
Well, thank you, General. It's a pleasure to meet you. Will I be seeing you tonight at the party?
Yes. I don't have a position in the ceremony, but it is traditional that the first general is there.
I look forward to it.
She nods. Okay. And then like about 5 minutes later, people come in with like soap and scrapey things and start scraping and cleaning everything off. Yeah. There we go. Let me see. Sorry, I want to add something quickly to my notes here. Okay. Okay. So let's see. I want to check in one more time with Caliban. Caliban, obviously, you wanted to meditate on whether or not to use the divination thing. I want to give you that opportunity to do that.
Not going to.
You're not going to. Excellent. Good to know.
The servant who walked out of the zone of truth the day before.
Yeah.
Who were they? A servant of anyone in particular? Does it matter?
They were a servant of yours.
Of mine. Okay. Are they currently working? Are they with me?
Yes.
Okay. So I look up. Then Arturo's there, I assume, as well. And I say, if you were to die, would you be replaced?
Yes.
Who would mourn for you?
My people.
But you are nameless.
So is the bird that we mourn when it dies.
You are infected, yes?
No. I just don't like people playing around inside my mind.
Well, maybe we get a chance to prove that. And I'll go back to my work. My meditating.
And I think he interrupts you like 10 minutes into your meditating later. He says, if you require my death, I will grant it to you.
I believe it. That's why I was asking. I don't want that yet. Thank you.
Okay, let's check in on our miscreants, Selexa and Thea. So you guys make it towards, again, the Celestial Domain, which is by far the tallest building that anyone has ever seen, reaching far, far, far into the sky and actually surpassing the clouds at this massive pillar of a building. Yeah, your intention is to sneak into it. Obviously, Thea, you are going to be invisible. Selexa, what about you? What do you? You're just go for it.
Can I ask a question about when we went to, what was it called? We went to the temple and spoke with, what's her name? Was it Numa?
Yeah, Aberthor. The Temple of Aberthor.
She had like she had people like attendants there with her, right?
Yes.
Did they have distinctive garb?
Yes.
Have I ever seen anybody walking around with that garb in the city?
Yes.
Okay, then Selexa is going to be wearing that garb.
Perfect. Yeah, so you have sort of the garb of a religious attendant from here. Awesome. I love it. Okay, so Selexa is wearing that, and Thea is invisible, and you guys are going to approach the Celestial Domain. So you get to the Celestial Domain, and its wide open doorway opens up before you, and you see symbols all along the floor, all along the walls, which you can translate because of your comprehend language spell, that are numbers. They start very, very low, but they go up to somewhere around the highest number that you can see is around 800. And next to these numbers are two little things that you would step on to go up somewhere. So these are different elevators for different floors inside this building, basically. They are in increments of 10, with the implication that when you get there, you'll walk upstairs, or maybe they'll have smaller elevators, something like that. So it's some way. So you've got to pick a round number between 1 and 800.
Okay. In an increment of 10.
An increment of 10. Yeah, sorry, not round number.
Right. Gotcha. Okay.
You can roll randomly if you want.
Right.
You have no way. I'm giving you no information here. It's just I'm just determining what you're going to see, but there's no way for you to know in advance.
Right, for sure. I think we're going to start with 150.
150. Okay. Pardon me while I pull up what is on floor 150. I'm not even slightly kidding. Okay. Oh, perfect. Oh man. I love it so much. Okay, this could not be more perfect for me. Okay. So you guys go there and you start quickly floating up, and you're floating up faster than you've ever floated up before. You've never really moved this fast in any of these things. Typically they go at a relatively normal speed, but these are just like shooting up, and you feel yourself accelerating very, very quickly, wind flowing through your hair, and you guys are just tearing through this very, very quickly. You get there and stop suddenly, and there's just room for you to step off this thing into what like the inside of a cave in many ways, except the walls are still very like the walls of this building, like you would expect for the Kabal, but all of the stuff here, it's like rocky earth up here for some reason on this floor. And a creature approaches you. It is a creature I don't think that either of you have ever seen before. It has pale gray skin that looks almost wet, almost damp from everything about it. And instead of a mouth, it has 4 long tentacles coming down, and its eyes are these wide blue, just ovals that seem to stick out over their heads, stick out over their eye, over the sides of their brow, and their nose is basically slits. And one of them turns towards you, and you hear in your head, "What business have you with the Illithid Collective?" And I think that is where we are going.
Can I hear it too?
Yeah. No,
Okay.
you cannot, because it is directed. And I think that's where we're going to stop today's session. I feel like Evan is cursing me out down there.
No, not you. Them. Oh no. Yay.
How bad? I'm sure they're very nice.
I'm sure they're very nice. I'm sure they're very nice. I'm glad you picked floor 150.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. So great session, everyone. I hope you all had fun. I had a great time.
Yeah.
I thought that was spectacular. Some cool moments. And we will come back next session. We'll figure out what to do with this knowledge about the Illithid Collective. And then we'll go to a party tonight. And that will catch you up time-wise to my other campaigns, which had their double moon stuff happen the week before my break. So who knows? We'll see what all happens.
Can I ask a question, Matt?
Please.
So when we have stretches of like, I don't know, I think it's probably been 3 weeks or so since we did any combat. Are we still? Do we still advance towards like level advancement, things like that? With that,
yes,
when we're
this
not
is
doing combat?
Because it's a narrative and intrigue driven game. There is just less combat, right? There is less combat. I prefer when there is a little bit of combat. In general, I shoot for, although I have been failing because I've been giving you guys the tools and you guys have been avoiding it. I shoot for a combat a session, roughly.
Sure. Yeah.
That's generally my goal with this group, although again, I've totally been failing. But our level advancement is not based on combat. We haven't really discussed level advancement with this group because I
trust you.
Reveal too much about things because I like some of the surprise twists that we just are revealing slowly one at a time. But I'm doing a point-based system for the group. As you uncover secrets, you are gaining an experience point per secret that you uncover, and every certain number of secrets uncovered equals a level. So that's
Awesome.
more.
Yeah, cool.
I'm also giving an experience point per combat as well.
Sure.
Just on the same thing, but I'm trying to give experience points based on rewards, but basically everything is worth an experience point. And so we are, yes. So yes, you are fast approaching another level.
Oh, okay, cool. We haven't talked about it, and I wasn't sure. So thank you for that.
Of course, no problem. Any other questions? My wonderful, wonderful, wonderful players. Whoa, mon players. The Illithid Collective is here. Okay.
Oh yeah, that's my question. Are they gonna kill all of us?
I don't know. You haven't had combat in a couple weeks. Wouldn't that be fun?
I apologize in advance for whatever I have dragged us into.
I mean, it's you that's there. So
yeah, all is a strong word. There's only 2 of you there, and they've only acknowledged one of them. You guys got out of scot-free. It's just gonna be the death of Alexa. I've never killed characters off on their own before. Oh wait, didn't I just say the party was gonna be okay? We'll see what happens. Okay. Well, guys, that was a lot of fun. Thank you all so much for watching. Please, if you are watching, go live good and happy lives. Take care of yourselves and do the mental self-care stuff that you need to do and all that good stuff. But also, if you can, find a way to support cool causes and important causes in the world. Black Lives Matter or any really other cause that you happen to believe in. Find a way to donate some money, donate some time, donate some protesting capability, donate some organizational ability, whatever it is that you have that you can use to support people. Please try and do that. And as always, don't forget to call your cat or feed your mother. Bye, everyone.